Good evening and welcome to the August business meeting of the Macomb Park District Board of Commissioners. Our standard procedure at the start of each meeting is to approve the agenda. Are there any corrections, additions?
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes,
No, the
excuse me, the
agenda.
agenda, I'm staring at the wrong line. The agenda as published. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda stands approved. Now, we need to do something a little different because of some things that happened last meeting. So what we are going to need to do is to approve the minutes from the June and July meeting, along with the bills and transfers and the monthly financial statements from June and July. And monthly financial statements will be July and August. We managed to omit some of that the last time through. So as a procedural safeguard, go ahead and do that. And I would entertain a motion to approve June and July minutes as published.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Now, are there any corrections or additions before we proceed to vote?
If there are any corrections to the July meeting, you can talk to Pat Stout.
Okay. Hearing none then. All in favor of approving the June and July minutes?
I need a motion.
We have a motion from Commissioner Ham.
Oh, you're so
and
right. I'm
a
sorry.
Second from Commissioner Weiss. You with us now? Are you?
I'm just as here as you are, sir.
That's not good news. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes from June and July stand approved. I'm going to take the bills and transfers separately because they are for June and July. Do we need to do all three of them, June, July, and August?
No, our bills and transfers are for the month prior to the meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
Just make sure of that. Okay. So the bills and transfers will also be for June and July. We had our report from Commissioner Ham.
Not
No, we
during
did
the
not.
June session, we did not.
Okay.
But I will mention June in part of my July report.
All right, then I think we should move to that report and then do a package on all of these since they all fit
That
together.
makes sense.
All right. So if you would care to proceed then.
Okay. As far as June, the month end that I would like to speak about is a couple things about the consolidation fund. I do want to note that we ended the month $17,520 below the budget in the consolidated fund, and also in the general fund, overall of the month, we ended $2,011 below the budget projections. So that's what I want to say about the June month. Now, I'll be adding year-to-date with the July figures now for the month. Of the consolidation fund, I do want to indicate for the month of July, the cash on hand at the end of July was $601,714. $146,966 was in capital projects. $348,244 was in the bond retirement, and $106,502 of that was in savings. And that made up the total for the end of the month for July. For the month ended in July, we were $22,923 $1,000 below budget, and for the year-to-date overall, we're we're setting $68,783 better than budget. Now, that's talking about the consolidation fund only, okay? Now, moving to the general fund, we ended the month with $367,583 cash on hand, okay? Basically, $364,899 was in the general fund, and there was $2,684 in savings, okay? That's what, for the month, we were actually $8,810 below the budget projections in the general fund for the month. But overall, for the year to date, we're still $4,677 better than budget. So we did have a large expenditure time period during the month of, which only makes sense with all the activities that were going on during the summer months. The corporate, overall, for the year, we're setting $9,067 below budget predictions. Again, this is for the month of July. The recreation area to year-to-date overall, we're $10,300 below budget. Okay? For Lakeview, for the year-to-date so far, we're currently setting $999 above budget. Okay? No large variance there. For Ball 4, year-to-date, overall, we're setting $12,963 below budget. And we're looking into that to see why there's not as much activity going on during this time period as we projected in our budget, okay? Special rec for year-to-date, it's setting $2,805 better than what we budgeted, okay? A couple other classifications I want to talk about is the police expenses for the year-to-date were $6,297 better than what we budgeted for the police. For payroll, year-to-date, actually, we're $5,550 more than what we budgeted for. So a little more than on the expense side for the year-to-date, okay? Also, going back to something that was brought in July, I do want to mention that the Park District did receive amount of $587,182 in the first tax distribution. This accounts for about 45% of what we're expecting. And then I also note here that in July 23rd, we received a second tax distribution of $138,504, which is another 11% of what we're expecting. So that helps cash flow. All right?
Are there any questions? Seems to me that some of the cost-saving measures that have been introduced are taking hold. And I also wouldn't be surprised that our payroll would be a little bit high in the middle of our busiest time of the year. So thank you for the thorough report. Are there any questions? Then, hearing none, the chair would request a motion to approve the bills and transfers for June and July and the monthly financial statements for July and August together. So we can take care of this in one vote, if that is agreeable to the commissioners.
Yep.
Would somebody care to make the motion?
Move to approve.
We have the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the bills and transfers for June and July and the monthly financial statements for July and August. A roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hemingway,
Aye.
Commissioner Pettigrew,
Aye.
Commissioner Ham,
Yes?
Commissioner Weiss.
Yes.
Then the bills and transfers, June and July, and monthly financial statements, July and August, stand approved. We have no one signed up for public presentations. That moves to the president's report. As indicated before the start of the meeting, the president isn't really sure which town he's in right now. So we're going to move to the director's report post haste.
Very good. Okay, I will try to move through this fairly quickly so that we can get on to our action items. Last month, we had a lot of activity going on beyond just our Unplug Month, Unplug Macomb campaign, which we had a lot of a good response to, and we were excited to see the community get involved with that. So for those who did participate and send in their pictures and be a part of that, we thank them. Chubby's hosted a luau on August 3rd, and it was a great time. They really went all out and put up a bunch of tiki decorations. They had a special menu that was delicious, and they even helped us get some of our raffle prizes. So they did an outstanding job, and we thank Chad and Tammy for their continued support. They've been with us since the very first Flatland Summer Jam, so they've been a wonderful support for a very long time. But we were able to raise a little over $800 for the lighting project out at Veterans Park for that. We've also received a grant in the way of $500 from iParks. It's a safety grant that we have been lucky enough to receive over the last several years. So we thank iParks for their continued support. We use that kind of monies for certificate training, for safety surfacing out at playgrounds, for first aid kits, just a variety of different needs, defibrillators. So just a variety of needs throughout the parks. And it's been of great help to us for several years. So thanks to iParks for that. We also have received what is called an exceptional rating from iParks. So we now receive a percentage deduction from our premiums. Thank you. That's the word. Premiums. So because we have gone a certain amount of time without any injury or safety reports, then we get that rating from the iParks, and it gives us a little bit of a percentage of savings. So money saved from for the taxpayers, and we're excited that we haven't had anybody get hurt in a few. So we also had our last installment of the mill, and it was just an absolute success. Kudos to Superintendent Armstrong and the staff that he directed for the mill. This time we extended it to 2 areas. One for ages 2 to 5, I believe, and then 6 to 11. And I never got an official count as to how many kids were out there, but I was going to say between 60 and 80 kids. So it was extremely well received. Excited to see that being such a successful event, and that the kiddos are just having a great time while their parents sit over there going, It's a lot of fun.
If you have not seen this, the next time you have the chance, just go sit and watch the kids take care of it all. One of my fondest memories of all the time that I have been in this district will be Brandon Gilbeck, who is one of the basketball players at Western and one of our interns. And Brandon has to duck his head where most of us can't breathe. He's a 7-footer. Mm-hmm. To watch him with a 7 or 8-year-old, the kid come up and ask for more paint, and Brandon bending over to do it's just pure what we are all about. It's a great project, and if you times are tough, the next time it happens, if you want to smile, go watch. It's tremendous.
Thank you for that. Other events that have happened recently, Randolph Street Rendezvous, our last installment of that just happened in August. We had approximately 200 people attend. That was our largest attendance we've seen thus far. So we are thrilled that that's starting to catch on in Macomb, and look forward to bringing it back in 2019 and hopefully doing bigger and better for the community. Our movie in the park was just last week. We ended up getting a couple of rain showers that had to forced our hand to move it to Saturday. We still had several hundred people show up. Obviously not the turnout that we typically have, but for our middle movie, we usually have between 500 and 600 people. For Saturday, we had between 200 and 300 people. So still a very good turnout for for the movie, and we're excited everybody was able to come out. Other things that have happened recently, I don't know if you guys saw, I might have been elected as the chair of the Quality of Life Committee. So I'm excited to be able to be a part of, I was excited to be able to be a part of that group, but to be the chair, I'm very honored and humbled and excited to see what more we can continue to bring to the community of Macomb and increasing their quality of life. So excited to be a part of that group, even more so. More good news on the front. Veterans Park now has a bus stop. We have, for a very long time, heard of this desire from previous park commissioners, and it has been a long time coming. So we've been working with Nathan Cobb and finally found a way to have a test run for a bus stop. So it is going to run for a year, and if we can get the ridership up to a certain point, then the bus route will continue for years to come. So if you are looking to go to Veterans Park and you want to save some gas money, please, by all means, take Go West. The more ridership we have, the more likely that that will stay for the residents who need it. So let's see. Oh, and in addition to that, Go West will be providing special festival transportation this weekend to our annual Flatland Summer Jam. So we have some big changes coming to the music festival this weekend. It is a 2-day festival instead of the 1 day. We have some really great acts this year. Again, this music festival is free to the public, free to the community. We are excited that the Go West partnership continues. We're hoping to get a lot more Western participation this year. We've got great partnerships with Western. JB, who is in the administration at Western, has done a wonderful job of helping us share on social media and spread the word to the students about what's going on. So really excited to see more students this year and hope that they enjoy the show. So Friday night we've got Stars of Toledo and then Brushville, which is a regional favorite. And then on Saturday we have the Boat Drunks, which is the official Jimmy Buffett cover band. They just do a fantastic job and bring a wonderful crowd. And then we have Duke Ausler and the Band on the Fly, and then followed by and ending our show is Dexter O'Neill and the Funkyard Band. So I expect to see the Macomb community up dancing again. If they could get our previous superintendent of maintenance to get up and dance, I assume nobody will be seated. So
You have times for that events on Friday and Saturday? You have times? I don't see it along this.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, Brushville, or Stars of Toledo open around 5 or 5:30 and go until 10? Maybe it's 6. Between 5:30 and 6. There'll be food there. You can hang out and just listen to some music until we get going. And then on Saturday, I believe the gates open at 4. So
Early evening stuff.
yeah. Yeah, we got rid of the mid-afternoon because it was just terribly hot, and yeah. So, yeah, no, good question. Okay. Oh, also debuting at Flatland Summer Jam, if anybody has driven past Veterans Park, they have seen a little bit of construction going on. We have installed the Veterans RC Raceway. So we are going to be having RC, remote control car, races out at Veteran Park, yes. Jason Miller, who is an avid RC racer and dedicated member of the community, came to me and said, this is something that will just bring a new element to your park. And I said, well, it seems like a great idea. So he had people ready to donate the resources, and him and his dad were willing to put it in. And it just seems like a great opportunity to provide a new experience to our community residents and our area youth. So they will be debuting that at Flatland Summer Jam. We're excited they were able to get it done so quickly. Yeah. Speaking of park improvements, Downing Park, if anybody has noticed, is now green instead of light blue. Jeff Hoyt, our superintendent of maintenance, has just been killing it. He's really been knocking out all sorts of projects and a lot of things that people don't see. Downing Park just happens to be a glaring representation of the work that he continues to do. So, the green paint, we've got new signage ordered. He put up new fascia. They're doing a lot of work on the inside. The stairs have been rebuilt inside. The ceiling's been redone, the gravel's been laid out in the parking lot, and we have plans to replace all of the fencing in the next 2 years. So concrete will be replaced at the end of October through Kyle Danner, and we're just continuing to be excited about the improvements of that park over there and really provide a high-quality standard throughout our parks, not just at our new ones. So excited to see some activity out there and really get people immersed in the Downing Park and at the softball complex. So thanks to Jeff and his team, because they've just been working extremely hard to get these things done. Upcoming events, sorry. We have the Kite Festival coming up September 8th. Again, that's at Veterans Park and is free to the public. We do that in conjunction with the balloon rally. We have a Charity Wins softball tournament coming up September 15th. Registration for that ends August 24th. Again, that is our business-to-business or group, whatever. If you have a group that has a charity that you want to support, you are welcome to put together a team. But the unique piece of that tournament is the winning team gets to pick a local charity of their choice for the proceeds to go to. So there is a small portion of the proceeds that goes to the Push for Parks campaign, but the majority of the proceeds goes to the charity of the winning team. So thank you to Brian Kinman and Jody Davis from Arnold Brothers. They have been instrumental in making that come to life. It was their idea. They brought it to us and we went, sure, sounds like fun, so why not? But they've really made it a lot of fun for us.
That will be held at Downing Park,
At Veterans Park.
or Veterans Park?
Yes, good question, thank you. Yeah, at Veterans Park. And also happening at Veterans Park the next day, we are hosting the WIU Color Run. So we're excited to partner with the Office of Student Activities and their committee the student committee that is putting on this event. But I don't know if you guys have seen a color run before. It is hysterical. People run around and just get pounded with color, and it's a great time. But we're loving the fact that we get to work with more students, that the route to Veterans Park will get used a little bit more, and just for more people to see what that facility hosts and what is possible out there.
What was the date on that one?
September 16th. I don't know times, I apologize, but it is all over Western's website, so yeah. And then also, with all the events going on, I'd hate for us to leave out all of the wonderful programs that our ceramics coordinator is putting on. Her ceramics classes start at the end of August, both for ages 7 to 14 in our adult courses. And she also has a bunch of ceramic family workshops coming up starting in September. And our Lakeview programming is also just as active and with a lot of opportunities. So we have a new special event coming to Lakeview, which I will tell you more about when we get closer to October, but the Moonlight Meander, very similar to the Nature's Fireworks. Natalie's doing a great job of just trying to get the community more involved with that space and really bringing it to life. So we're excited to continue to see the work that she's doing out there and the programs that she brings. Ball 4 has new hours starting August 20th. We will be open weekly from 5 to 10. We'll have those hours until after Labor Day, and then we will go to a shortened week with school starting and everybody back into the normal work routine. It's hard to keep those hours, so we will be shortening our hours in stair-step up through Labor Day. And then last but not least, and I apologize it's been so long, but the SRA has had some changeover. Kayla Morphy has taken a position over in Indiana with another organization. Did wonderful things for our SRA. We were excited to have her for as long as we did, and she was sad to go, but very excited for her new opportunity and this stepping stone in her career. We wish her the best of luck. So we will be opening up a what do you call that? Job opening? Job search, thanks. A job search for a new SRA manager, hopefully in the near future. Just keeps getting pushed to the bottom of my pile, but we're going to get to it. So, yeah, I think that is all I have. I hope.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. It's 2 months worth of real quick.
The president suggests we take about a 15-second pause so the director can breathe.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
About the Flatland Jam, just as, well, you were describing it on the little poster that we've got here, I just did a quick count, and looks to me, I counted 18 different sponsors
Yeah, it's fantastic.
involved in this, and I think that, I think that's wonderful. I think that shows community support. We're obviously very grateful to all of those sponsors who will be recognized at the event. But that's exciting to see that kind of growth of involvement in the community. And I agree with you, if, what is it, Dexter O'Neill and the Funk Yard group can get Jeff to dance, then they work miracles. Any questions for the director?
Just want to say, it's wonderful, all the new and exciting activities that you've got the ball rolling.
Thank you.
It seems like anyone who might want to be involved in any park activities would have the opportunity based on everything that you've said tonight.
Well, thank you very much. Have an incredible team to work with. They make it possible, so thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's an important point. We sit here as the public face, but there's a group of very eager, talented staff members as well as volunteers and interns that make all this happen.
And don't forget dedicated. They're all very dedicated.
They are dedicated. Some of them should actually almost be committed. But I'm glad they're working for us.
Yes.
And so I take this opportunity to publicly thank them and recognize them, which doesn't happen, I think, often enough. So if there are no questions, we will move to committee reports, which is normally not on the agenda anymore.
It shouldn't be. I gave you a new one.
Well, okay. So.
Oh, you're reading the July one. You want to read that one.
Okay. I want to read the one that you corrected that. All right.
That's the August one.
Excuse me, one of my hobbies is giving the director a hard time. Item number 7 on the agenda is the selection of First Midstate Incorporated as the underwriter / placement agent and Chapman and Cutler as bond disclosure counsel to First Midstate with respect to our general obligation park bond issue. These are the standard yearly bonds that provide a great deal of our operating money to us. And what is involved here is simply hiring the 2 firms named. We will then publish through the director and the business manager the proposed bond issue, which will be available to the public for 30 days. And then in accordance with state law, there will be a public hearing at our September meeting for anyone who wishes to comment on the bond issue. Our action today is simply to hire these people, then the material will be released subsequent to that. Both of these firms have worked for us for as long as I've been on the board. I think you've all met at least the representative of First Midstate They've done a tremendous job. There are significant advantages to using their services in terms of effectiveness and efficiency, and,
And retaining Frank Hauser.
yeah.
I think if we ever took that away from him, he would quit
Yeah, yeah.
instantly.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to go back to having trying to do that the way it had been done in the past. So this is basically just a procedural move. And the chair would entertain a motion to retain First Mid-State and Chapman and Cutler, if anyone cares to make it.
I move that we continue working with First Mid-State and Chapman and Cutler.
We have the motion. Is there a second?
A second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, let's move to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Pettigrew? Commissioner Ham?
Yes.
Commissioner Weiss?
Aye.
Commissioner Hemingway?
Aye. So we will notify First Mid-State and Chapman and Cutler on this, and they're very good. They supply most of the documentation and everything so that we line up legally with all of that. The next item is coming your way, and this was at the suggestion of the director in a conversation, and I thought it was a good suggestion. What we are proposing, and this is an ordinance, what we are proposing in the ordinance is to create what is referred to as a temporarily restricted fund in our finances, specifically as essentially a sub-fund in the capital projects fund. Quickly for people listening in, when we refer to a fund, it is an accounting device that allows us to track very specifically sets of monies by origin and by purpose and manage them as though they were their own account. The notion of a temporarily restricted fund is one that says that so long as money is in it and the purpose of the fund continues to exist, that money can be used only for that purpose. Once we accomplish the purpose, then the restrictions lapse. So what we are proposing in this ordinance is to create a temporarily restricted fund for the youth baseball fields lighting project. And what will happen here through this fund is that we will protect all money that might, say, come from the foundation. Or you'll notice in here, we're making provision that the director may from time to time take unexpended money in capital projects and move it into this fund in order to begin to develop capital funds that can then eventually be used to prepare to put in the lighting. We know that lighting is a major concern of ours. What we want to do is create a vehicle to make sure that we capture as much money as might be available without interfering with the other activities of the park district. So for example, when Commissioner Ham was giving his report a little while ago, we heard that there were cost savings going on. Cost savings within the general broad capital project fund at the discretion of the director And it says here, in consultation with the business manager and the president. I want to emphasize that's in consultation with, not with the approval of. The director's discretion remains protected here. But it's just a way of touching base and saying, hey, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And so if at the end of a project, we have $6,000 or $7,000 that is left over for which there are not immediate other operationally pressing needs, that money can go into the temporarily restricted fund where it will remain protected. And we are hoping that we will, in this fashion, be able to both demonstrate the commitment of the Park District and move progress along. And then if we have money that comes in through donors from the foundation, and they say, and donors' intent always governs, they say, we want you to use this for lighting. When we transfer the money out of the foundation, it would go into this fund to guarantee that that is exactly how it is spent. No, I'm going to stop and ask if any of that was in English and understandable. I'm not always sure.
No, you did a nice job describing.
If I might add, though,
Please.
in thinking about the amount of support that we've received from the community and the funding that is going to be coming in the near future, it felt necessary to me for us to somewhere publicize that we were also making the same commitment that was coming from community members and business owners. And this is a way for us to have written record that, yes, the community has put in certain amount of thousands of dollars. We are at that same commitment, if not more. And thankfully, through creative funding and grants and whatnot, we have been able to create a lot of improvements in our parks, and also at Jeff Hoyt's amazing skill set. We've been able to save a lot of money on projects, and I would love to see that money go straight to the lighting campaign and help us get to that goal a lot sooner than projected.
That isn't a guarantee because there may be operational considerations, but it would give the director some opportunities. And I think the point is well taken to put the Park District on record. I think we've sometimes not been quite believed by certain people that we think that this is an important thing. We're trying to demonstrate here, yeah, we do think so.
It makes sense.
Absolutely.
And once that lighting is up and functional, the temporarily restricted fund dissolves. Money would stay in the capital projects area.
I do have one quick question.
Sure.
Would that continue on the usage and replacement of lights, electricity, scoreboards? Not scoreboards, right? It would be
Well, we're talking about the,
just lights only, the
Installing the
implementation,
lighting.
Installing,
Yeah.
getting the electrical lines, if they're not already
yeah,
set in, get them set in.
yeah, pushing us forward towards the completion of the lighting.
Just the Little League Diamonds, not the future
For
of
the youth baseball diamonds.
Youth baseball,
youth
yeah.
baseball diamonds. Okay.
Yeah, and the possibility would always exist of repeating the same step at phase 3, if that were desirable, however. Okay.
Okay, just want to clarify.
Thank you.
That's a fair question.
Oh, yeah.
Would anybody care to make a motion?
I'd like to move that we create this ordinance 328 for a temporary restriction fund for Veterans Parks Youth Baseball Field lighting.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All right, then with that, are there any further questions or anything? I always like to have the motion on, so we. All right, let's move to a roll call on this.
Commissioner Ham,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiss,
Aye.
Commissioner Hemingway,
Aye,
Commissioner Pettigrew.
Aye.
thank you.
I like the matching idea,
Thank you.
matching.
Then, item 8 is open commissioner presentation discussion of future agenda items. Do any of the commissioners have anything they wish to offer?
Just keep rocking it.
That I can do, sir. That I
Yes.
can do.
What was it? The image you showed prior to the
Oh,
meeting?
that's right. Yeah, dang, I meant to start my speech with that. The banner out on Lafayette that says, "Nothing to do in Macomb, wrong-o."
Wrong-o, yes.
It was supposed to be a joke, the staff took it seriously and printed it.
That would be our staff.
It's actually a quote from the Grinch. I hope we're not sued.
Well, at this moment, does anybody wish to offer a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned, and thank you very much. Appreciate everybody for listening and joining in.